waiting for Thursday. I want to see what's the strategy? Are you going big? Are you going small? Maybe throw some tight ends out there.
That's going to be good.
I don't know.
Good, I got your top seven riskiest contracts thus far in the NFL. Top 7 riskiest contracts in the NFL. You ready?
Based on who?
This is Fox Sports.
I hope this ain't the people who did the hip hop list for Family Feud.
No, God, no. Jeez. So here we go. Number 7, Tua, 4 years.
Where's my graphic?
Well, I got you. We'll put it up.
Jesus Christ! I mean, I don't want to just listen to you.
I know you're on your phone and you can't see it.
I could squint.
All right.
Oh gosh, it's so small.
See?
Oh gosh,
a little bigger for you.
I see it says Miami. I just did my DOT physical too. You wouldn't think that, but Miami Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa.
So Tua, 4 years, $212.4 million, including a $167 million guaranteed. Why is it a risk? Are you ready?
Yeah, give it to me.
Tua led the NFL in passing yards last season. He's had elite production, but how much of his success is dependent upon Mike McDaniel's scheme and the surrounding talent? Tua's shortcomings have been exploited several times, and his poor track record in cold weather games are noteworthy. Although he started 17 games for the first time last season, Tua's injury history is a bit concerning as well, including multiple stints in concussion protocol in 2012. McDaniel's play calling and Tua's surrounding cast, Miami's surrounding cast, must remain strong to prevent this contract from crippling the Dolphins. What are your thoughts on that? Tua, number 7, riskiest deal in the NFL.
I got an issue with the Tua hate, and I'm not the biggest Tua guy, but they always bring up his success is tied to Mike McDaniels and Mike McDaniels' scheme.
Yeah.
Well, guess what, people? Mike McDaniels ain't going nowhere. So I don't want to hear it. He ain't going nowhere. I think
you were going to go another way with that, so you're making a valid point. He's the guy. He's going to be there. Tua, as long as he's there.
He's not going nowhere. So stop telling me that he's only good because Mike McDaniels is there, because Mike McDaniels is going to be there.
Yeah, if anyone is at risk of leaving, it will be Tua, not McDaniels.
Yeah, but
all right. So risky.
I didn't think the deal was that bad. I don't think the deal's bad. I think Tua's worth it. Like what else were the Dolphins going to do anyway?
That's where it gets tricky. So, based on he's injury prone, can't win in cold weather, has not beat a 500 team last year, and you give him 167 guaranteed. All that makes sense, but we've talked about it on here many times before. What's your alternative? Who is going to be your starting quarterback?
Yeah.
Is it going to be Mike White, Skylar Thompson? Who else is out there that is a viable starter that's available for you to put on your team? And
my thing is
with nobody.
My thing is like people are complaining about these quarterback deals. Like Tua deserves to get paid. If Trevor Lawrence got what he got, then Tua deserves to get what he got.
That I will get behind on that one because I am not a Trevor Lawrence guy.
Like all these guys are getting money. Jordan Love, he won 9 games and he just became the highest paid quarterback.
Well, speaking of Trevor Lawrence, number 6 riskiest deal in the NFL, 5 years, $275, $200 million guaranteed. Trevor Lawrence. Why is it a risk? A deeper dive into the contract makes the numbers more palatable. But as Lawrence enters year 4, we're still questioning if he can be a consistently great quarterback, let alone an elite one. His turnover numbers since entering the league are alarming. He has 60 since 2021, which leads the NFL in that span. Jacksonville is in its window of contention. If Lawrence doesn't elevate his play, the contract could set the franchise back for years. So for me, I am not a Lawrence guy. I do not think he is a good quarterback. a great quarterback. I think he's serviceable. I'd keep him in the top 16. He had a lot of hype coming out of college. Didn't translate to the NFL with that skill that he had. And has he had the best skill players? Probably not. Has he had the best defense? They've got a decent defense. Coaching, Meyer's gone. Peterson's in there. They do better, but I just don't see Trevor Lawrence as somebody that's, oh, yeah, he's my franchise guy. We're taking him all the way to the Super Bowl, 10 years on my team. I personally cannot do that.
I like Trevor Lawrence. I don't think it's that many quarterbacks that you would take over Trevor Lawrence.
Well, we'll break it down another day, but I have in the top half of the league.
It's not. I don't think it's a lot of quarterbacks that you taking over Trevor Lawrence. He has the tools. He showed he can play. He gets hurt a lot, but the kid can play.
That holds him back. Not really having a stud guy at any position. I mean, Etienne is looking to be a really good running back.
He's okay. I don't think he's an every down back. I mean, they took Calvin Ridley away from him and replaced him with Gabe Davis. So that's a negative.
I watched Gabe Davis for years. The guy can get you 3 for 150 and 3 touchdowns, or go 0 for 5 straight games.
So I think that's a regression there. But then they added the rookie, who I think is a one-trick pony. So I don't know what they're gonna do there. But I like the coach and I like the quarterback. And
but if it doesn't pan out,
if that's the market, then he deserves to get what he got.
And this is
there's not a lot of quarterbacks that you taking over Trevor Lawrence.
This is where you and I disagree when it comes to market value versus what you mean to the team. I get it. You got to pay what the value is, because someone else will pay and take your guy. But if your guy isn't that good, like they say here, if it doesn't work out, they set him back $200 million. That could be pretty bad for a team if this is not your guy and you got to start over again in a couple of years with no money.
Yeah, but you can. My thing is, you could say that for 20 teams in the league.
Agreed.
All these quarterbacks are making money.
Yeah, I'm with you. Number 5, not a quarterback, Green Bay Packers running back Josh Jacobs. 4 years, $48 million, $12.5 million guaranteed. Why is it a risk, you ask? The Packers gave Jacobs one of the league's biggest running back contracts, despite the fact that he missed the final 4 games of last season due to a quad injury. And before he got hurt, he was having the least effective season of his career. Jacobs registered career lows in rushing success rate, 45.9%, yards per carry, 3.5, and yards per game, 61.9. So Josh Jacobs, 48, $12 million guaranteed for 4 years, is the 5th riskiest contract in the NFL. What are your thoughts?
I mean, the year before he was fully healthy, he led the league in rushing.
Had him on my fantasy team. Loved it.
So, I mean, last year was a contract year. He was on a subpar team. Like, I don't know what you wanted him to do.
And he was hurt. I mean, how many guys are going to?
He didn't have a quarterback. He didn't have nothing.
And he's not going to. Me personally, I don't think he's going to go out there.
The coach got fired. The team was in shambles. Like,
are you going to go out there and go balls to the wall on a contract is up where you could potentially get hurt and not get paid for a bad team that's probably going to get rid of you anyway? Are you going to go sacrifice yourself for them? I would say no.
I like Josh Jacobs. I think it's
so do I. I hope it works out. Number 4, Tennessee Titans, Calvin Ridley, 4 years, $92 million, $50 guaranteed. Why is it a risk? Ridley will be 30 years old before the end of 2024. He may have less wear and tear on his body than a typical wide receiver of his age and caliber. Ridley missed 29 games between 2022 and 23, but will his production justify the contract? The Titans have a crowded receiver room, and according to Pro Football Focus, Ridley had an 18.8% drop rate last season, second worst among all receivers who saw at least 20 targets. Now, going back to Trevor Lawrence, did he have a drop rate? Is Trevor Lawrence not good because he hasn't had good players? This guy's dropping 20% of his passes? Or was Lawrence throwing him crap passes, and he just, as long as you get your hand on it, counts as a drop, or both these guys overrated? Is Calvin Ridley a risk with $90 million, 50 guaranteed in Tennessee?
I thought that deal was horrible. He dropped a ton of balls last year. In his hand, he just dropped a ton of balls.
Okay.
So and then you're going from Trevor Lawrence to Will Levis.
Huge drop. I'm with you there.
I thought that deal was terrible, but I mean, South Florida boy got paid.
All right. But I'm with you. I didn't think it was the best. I've never understood the love for Ridley. I assume he's good, but he was he Atlanta when he first came out, right? Then got in trouble for the gambling or something.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he can show up.
I mean, I always thought highly of him. I didn't really see him drop this many balls as he did last year. He dropped a lot of balls last year.
Number 3, Philadelphia Eagles, Saquon Barkley. 3 years, $37.75 million, 26 guaranteed. Saquon Barkley. It is a risk because Barkley may very well be the missing piece to a loaded Eagles offense, but there's an inherent risk of paying that much to a 27-year-old running back with a lengthy injury history. Barkley has missed at least 3 games in 4 of his past 5 seasons. He's played a full season only once, which was his rookie year. He also had just one 100 rushing yard game last season, which came in October. How much of prime Barkley is left? So, Barkley, 3 years, $37.75 million, 26 guaranteed, the third riskiest deal in the NFL. What are your thoughts on Saquon Barkley? Old, 27 for running back, very injured. We can't dispute that.
27 is not old.
Running back, though, we're talking.
No.
If he's healthy, is he the piece to get them over the hump?
I think Saquon Barkley might lead the league in rushing this year. But behind that Eagles O-line, I think he might lead the league in rushing.
Okay.
And that's not a bad deal. 3 for 37, a little bit over 10. The franchise tag was more than that. So that's not a bad deal.
So this looks like it's more based on injury with Barkley as opposed to money to hit to the team.
Well, yeah, I mean, injury can happen to anybody.
Agreed.
So if he's healthy, I think he might lead the league in rushing.
Okay.
If he's healthy, but he does. I mean, he does get hurt a lot. So
the second riskiest deal, 4 years, $180 million, including $100 million guaranteed. Kirk Cousins to the Atlanta Falcons. Kirk Cousins. Why is it risky? Cousins is the best starting quarterback the Falcons have had since prime Matt Ryan. But giving him triple-digit guarantee coming off an Achilles tear at the age of 35 is a massive gamble. Atlanta's decision to draft Washington's Michael Penix Jr. at 8 overall only raises more questions about the contract. So what are your thoughts on Kirk Cousins? Achilles, drafting Penix. What do you got?
I thought that deal was horrible. Like, you paying a dude over $100 million who just tore his Achilles a year ago. Like, you don't even know what he's going to look like when he comes back.
Yeah, the injury could be a big deal. I mean, but look at now, $100 million is nothing. You got Love, you got.
I mean, but his $100 million different than everybody else's because his is fully guaranteed.
Yeah. No, his contract is great for him. His agent, they work out fantastic.
His agent, Kirk Cousins is the biggest gangster in the NFL. Like, the robberies that he consistently comes away with, it's just crazy. Like, he got the shiesty on every time at the contract table. This dude hasn't won anything.
Nope.
Nothing. And he just keeps getting guaranteed contract after guaranteed contract. I don't know who he got working for him, but he needs to come do my contract.
So Cousins is risky based on obviously the age, the Achilles tear. What's going to happen. $100 million guaranteed. The second riskiest deal in the NFL, Kirk Cousins.
He wasn't winning nothing with the good Achilles.
It's a valid point. And here is number one, Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love, 4 years, $220 million, 163 guaranteed. The number one riskiest deal in the NFL, Jordan Love. Why is it a risk? It's obvious. Love has only started one full season. Of course, the Packers had to pay the former first-round pick. He had been entering a contract year. And in this time of skyrocketing quarterback contracts, the next guy up sets new financial records in his deal. Love's 55 average annual ties, Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, and Bengals, Joe Burrow, as highest in league history. You don't have to be the best, like you said, market value. But that doesn't erase the tremendous risk of paying Love off of one great year. Can he maintain greatness year after year as Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre did before him? If Love can't build on his success, his contract will be a long-term disaster for the Packers. How risky is this deal?
I don't understand why they keep saying he had a good year. He had a good back half of a year.
It's tied to that one playoff win. I'm telling you that
he had a good back half of the year. They still only won 9 games. So they're going to Coos either going to look like a genius or he going to be looking for a job, because that's a lot of money to pay a dude that's won 9 games.
You are correct.
In his first season as starter. But I mean, I liked him coming out of college. I thought he was good. I thought he had the tools. So I guess we'll see what happens. But he's only played 1 season as a starter and he won 9 games.
So pulling up his stats from last season.
If I'm not mistaken, he started off slow and then picked it up on the back half.
He did. He had 17 games played, 64% completion, 4,100 yards, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. It was sacked 30 times. His respected game, his rating was 96.1. His QBR was 62.1.
I mean, that's not bad. No, 90 passer rating.
But off of one season, he didn't play the first 2. He gets one, statistically his best season, clearly because he played. Wins a playoff game pretty dramatically. Blows the team out. Looks great at Dallas. And my opinion is they jumped on those coattails, and that's what they're riding. And that's, I think, what's got him paid. That's the number one riskiest deal. Most of these were the quarterbacks based off of, if it goes wrong, the money tied to one player could handicap the team for years to come. The other ones, the receivers and running backs, were these guys are old, injury prone, things like that. That was the risk, was more player risk, where the quarterbacks were more team risk. If they did not pan out, the teams were screwed out of a few $100 million and be a problem.
Yes.